Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Lamont, and I'm hostess of Ladies Get Your Prance On. And each week, I bring a special guest in the house that's going to give you tips and tools and techniques to bring more warmth in your life, more love in your life, more compassion in your life. And my special guest today is coming back. I've asked her to return because she has this awesome workshop that's coming up in November. So she is the forgiveness coach. Her name is Brenda Reiss. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, this is, I've had you on the show a couple of times because what you do is something that's very unique, but a lot of people may not know that the forgiveness coach, that actually in 2013 you went to school to learn how to be the forgiveness coach. Like, it's not something that you just thought up one day, oh, I'm going to be the forgiveness coach. It was something that inspired you. So can you share with us how you got into this coaching and your why behind it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so it was interesting because it's like I tell people, it's like I wasn't looking for forgiveness when I found it. I didn't know it was forgiveness that I needed. I knew that I knew the word forgiveness, but I wasn't sure what that word meant. I was trying really, really hard to forgive my ex, right? Because I went through a painful divorce like a lot of us do. And I was really trying to forgive him. And I was really trying to move forward. And I was trying to forgive me, too, for making the decisions that I made. And it was so challenging. And I kept being re-triggered. Like I tell the story, it's like every time I saw a Metro bus, I would just fall apart because he was a Metro bus driver. And so all these little triggers that we don't realize that are constantly at us. So I was intellectually thinking I was doing what I needed to do, but all the while going, there's something else. And then one day, after I realized that my boss was just like my ex-husband, and so I'm like, oh, dear Lord. So then it was like out of the blue, I found this little advertisement that said forgiveness coach on it. And I went, that's it. Whatever that is, I need that. And when I met with the forgiveness coach, and she found the pattern of 5 and just me telling my story, and she gave me ideas on what to do about it. And then this 5-step process to follow, I went, oh, people need to know about this. And that's where I went, okay, how do I do this? And so she told me how to do the training, and I dove into the 2 years of training.
Right, it's incredible. And you also face some medical issues too. So can you share that? Because I think it's important for people to know that part too, because that's a lot.
It is a lot. What I had found in part of my discovery, when I discovered that my boss was like my ex-husband, was I had been the executive assistant to this vice president in this company, that was my dream job. That's what I had manifested. That's what I wanted to be. But what I found was I could never please him. It wasn't good enough. And I was working so much trying to prove myself that I did not pay attention to me. So my body started to break down, and I started to get ocular migraines, and my hands started going numb, and I was tired all the time. And so I ended up with adrenal fatigue and found out my back was bone on bone, and so was my neck. So I had to have a back fusion and a neck fusion. That got me out of that job, right? And that's when I found the forgiveness coaching. And so when I started on that, and then after that, I found out I had a brain tumor. And I really think these were wake-up calls for me. I really do. And especially doing this work, it helped me uncover some beliefs that I did not know were there. After years of therapy, I uncovered things in a short amount of time and had a process to heal them than I ever experienced before.
I really feel that this forgiveness coach, seeing that little ad back in 2013, like, when we pay attention, there are signs that show up for us, that help us heal, that help us move forward. I mean, even me having you on this show, the people that are watching are going to be able to identify on maybe they're working in a crappy job right now. They don't see an end to it. Maybe they want to start to be an entrepreneur. Maybe they're an entrepreneur, and because they're not being able to forgive themselves, they're not able to go out and feel that they can be successful, to go to the next step, the next level. And so this is a process, and I love knowing you and how you have the forgiveness. I mean, just the idea of forgiving ourselves. That is huge, because we carry the weight, or we feel like, I was in a marriage for 19 years, and the 18 of the 19 years, other than being a mom, I wasn't the best. I wasn't happy, and I wasn't able to tell my truth and forgive myself. And we can all go on and on about why. And so I just love that you got called to do this. So before I want to jump in, and when is your workshop coming up? And then we'll talk a little bit more, but I want for people, that are coming on to find out when your workshop is. Tell us when it is, where it is, and the details about it.
Thank you. Yes. So it is Saturday, November 10th. So it's coming up in a little over a week. And it's going to be at the Hyatt House in Redmond, Washington. And it's 11 to 5:30, and trust me, that time goes fast. And in this workshop, it's pretty amazing. And what we do is we walk through the 5 stages of radical forgiveness physically. So you do not have to tell your story, because that's a lot of people, I carried a lot of shame and guilt. And I still have that pops up. And so that's the last thing I want to do, is go and, and feel like, oh, I don't want to be in a room of strangers. And you're not. You don't tell your story. And there's this one particular exercise that we do that helps you clear 14 different areas of your life without even saying much of anything, except for repeating some statements that I share. And then there's another exercise that people just absolutely love, where you find out where some blocked energy is in your body. And then you get an opportunity to release some angst or frustration or anything that you're feeling about another person, because all forgiveness is self-forgiveness.
It is.
And it is. And people, we don't understand that, because I hear women say to me, I need to forgive myself. What we don't understand is we got all this stuff going on in our minds and in our, heads, that, the shame and the guilt. So we can't really jump into self-forgiveness. What I help people do is start outside of ourselves and move in. And that's how I started to forgive myself and notice these beliefs and how I was proving myself so hard. I didn't have to do that.
I'm smiling because people don't know, before we started the show, you can see this light on the left. Like, we live in Washington State, and it's been overcast and drizzly all day today. And just before the show started, we have this bright light that's coming from both of us. It's hilarious, because we live about an hour and 20 minutes apart, so we're by each other. We both had overcast. Brenda said, it's overcast here, and then just before the show started, the sun comes in. So I think that's divine intervention that's coming. Yes, this is the perfect thing to do. For people that might be watching this show after November 10th, you also do private coaching, but you were also saying in January you were thinking about, or you were going to do something in coaching in January.
Yeah, so people can contact me if they want more information. I'd love to have a 30-minute conversation with them, just to see if this works for them, and see if we are a good fit together. And then the other thing that I'm really wanting to do is, based off of my book, Forgive Yourself, I am putting together a 5-week Forgive Yourself coaching program.
Do you have your book there? I have your book in my bookcase. I should have brought it. So share about your book too. So
Oh yeah, I should have it. I have one over there.
It's okay.
Yeah, Forgive Yourself. You can get it on Amazon. And it's a little purple book. And what it talks about is how to forgive yourself, forgiving others, and living a forgiving life. And it gives little quotes. It's an evergreen book. So it gives some really simple, because the simpler we can make the process, the better. Because what I like to do is, there is so much angst around the word forgiveness. because of the way we grew up, or you know, whether it's religion, whatever it is, in the family dynamics, we're just not taught. And like I said, I didn't know that forgiveness really isn't just about anger and resentment. Forgiveness is about helping me move forward. It's about cultivating an environment where I can be an acceptance and allowance of myself and others. I didn't realize that because I thought, oh, I got to go and I got to say I'm sorry to this person who I still kind of feel like they did something wrong.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. It's not about the other person at all when we get down to it.
Yeah. It's about the lesson and the opportunity. It really is. When it really comes down to it, and you're going to share with people. The other thing I love about your book, even though you know it's a smaller book like mine is.
Yeah.
What I love about it, it's like just randomly, if you're just kind of struggling, it's just like close your eyes and then just open the book, and like the message for them will be right there. I truly believe in that. That's what I love about your book. It's just like whatever I'm feeling, if I just close my eyes and I just say, you know, please show me what I need to see to help me move forward. You just open up and voila, you'll have your answer there. So it's a delightful book, and it really helps. Just, you know, it's simple. We try to make mountains out of molehills. We really do. It's just like, really?
No, and we make it more scary, right? We scare ourselves. So we already have the fear of the unknown.
Yep.
Right? As you and I have talked about in the past, we always have the fear of, oh no, I don't know what's in there. If I open that box, I don't know what's there. But you know what? That's just our ego telling us that. It's not that scary.
No.
In fact, it is so empowering that now it's like I look forward to it. I get this lesson. You know, like the other day I had a meltdown, right? The other day I was feeling overwhelmed, you know, going through this, and you know how marketing is and all that, you know, as you're preparing for stuff. And it was like I have my meltdown and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can learn from this. What's coming up for me? Oh, here's another layer. I know what to do. You know?
Thank you for being real, because when people look at you, you're beautiful, you're put together, you're polished. They're like, oh, she doesn't have a thought in the world. She recently went, you know, traveling around the world. They don't understand that you still deal with pain. You still deal with things that flare up and show up. I mean, it's an ongoing thing of spiritual growth. And I love that you're so open and you share that. Like, oh, Brenda had a bad day. Yeah. You know, Lisa had a bad day. Absolutely. We have those things happen. It's not a snap of your fingers and everything is correct. So you give people those tools to be able to quickly pull back and quickly find out, where is this coming from? Where are the feelings surfacing and showing up? What's the best way for them to find you, Brenda?
So the best way to find me is check out my website, Brenda Reiss, REISS coaching.com. So it's BrendaReissCoaching.com. And my email is Brenda@BrendaReissCoaching.com. And they can also reach out on Facebook, Brenda Reiss, and then Brenda Reiss-Coach for my business page. Is probably the best way to find me.
And I'll have those links shared in the show. So when I shared, I will definitely have that.
Yeah.
What is the one tip that you can give people? Holiday season is coming up, and a lot of angst is coming up about that, which is another reason that they can cover that in your workshop if that's something that triggers them. But for the people watching, what is one thing that you can share with people to have that feeling of not wanting to, you know, dreading the holidays?
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, the family dynamics is really important to understand. And it's okay. And this is what I really want to help people understand, is giving permission, if that's what it takes, because sometimes I need permission, giving permission to have a plan B. So it's like if we feel we need to go to the family functions, you know, have a plan ahead of time. If you know there's certain people that trigger you, one, you know, is we can figure that out why. But meanwhile, when you need to show up, you know, plan on only staying a short period of time. Even if the family gives you grief over it, have a plan B. If you want to go with your partner and your partner's going to want to stay longer, take 2 cars. You know, have a plan, a second plan, and know that just because they're your family doesn't mean that you have to put yourself through suffering to be there. That's not what it's about. And the other thing I want to give really quick is something that, and I know that you know about this, Lisa, is the heart coherence breathing. The Heart Math Institute that does the heart coherence breathing. And so what I do is you breathe in and out of your heart, right? You just put that intention right on your heart. I tap my heart, I tap my chest, or put your hand over it. And when we start to feel stressed, just take some breaths in, breathing out the mouth, and do a couple of those. And then just put your intention on your heart and pretend like you're breathing in and out of your heart. And then bring in some gratitude. Gratitude changes the chemicals in your brain. And so when you can just keep breathing, it doesn't take very long. It centers you. So that gives you the strength and the power to face whatever situation you need to, and just go back. And as a physical reminder, just tap your heart.
Ooh, thank you so much for sharing. We got 2 tips. I love it. I love that. Brenda, it has been absolutely delightful having you on the show and coming back again. And I definitely, after the first of the year, will get you back and we'll talk about all your new workshops and projects, because you're just all over the place. Brenda's like all over social media. She is the guru. And you also do public speaking too. So if anybody is looking to bring you in to talk about forgiveness and what that means in the workplace, you are open to doing that, because you do that also. So I wanted to give a shout out for you also. So everybody, thank you so much, Brenda. And I'm cracking up over this like I love it. So everybody, thank you. And we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.